sound like we really have a choice.
So how's Tony and Fiona doing?
Good.
Did you happen to remember stickers? Put that aside and to do that another time. So we have been talking about, in the last couple weeks, about how to give directions to our children. I'm laughing because my kids are all grown up. I don't give directions. Well, I kind of give directions this time.
Your mom, I don't think you ever should.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever. So just a review, remember getting down on their level, eye contact, make sure that they're attentive. We're going to be giving clear, concise directions. Maybe there's 4 steps. Make sure that they have their listening ears on.
Yeah, that was watching this guy while he's younger than my boy is. And
Yeah.
And he made, just in cold calling in the last, I don't know, 6-9 months, $500,000
Cold calling for what?
in about 70 or 80 hours he put into it. But that was one of the things he mentioned. Oh, the real estate thing.
Oh, okay.
But one of the things he mentioned was with kids, I'm not even sure how he got on that subject of kids, but he says if you're like, well, he's probably like when you're talking to sellers is kind of similar to the kids, but he's like, I remember when I was a kid and if somebody was like, well, you know, we should maybe do this, and he says, you're really just whatever, you know. But he's like, if you give them clear, concise, you know, like, okay, we're going to get in line now, we're going to go, you know, I'd have to review his words to know exactly what he said, but more or less what you're saying is like, well, we got in line and we went and did it,
Yeah.
you know. So it's not just what you say, it's the way, it's how you say it. Yeah.
Yeah. So getting that attention, eye contact. Remember, our directions are going to be for desired behavior. So just like what you just commented about this video or whatever you watched, it's desired behavior.
YouTube.
What do you want them to do? And then we're going to check for compliance. Prompt 1, prompt 2, consequence. Let me turn this off because it's already started. You watch a lot of pretty interesting videos, Kelly.
Well, real estate's my new passion, so.
Oh, is it?
Well, I was just at a seller's house last night in Eau Claire, and they were Indian or Middle Eastern or some kind of a
Mexican.
So they had a translator there, and it got kind of interesting. But
They were buying a house or selling a house?
They were selling a house. They had renters who trashed it, and they didn't end up signing the contract because he wanted me to give him $1,000 deposit. I said, well, that's not the way this works, you know. You go find somebody else to give you a deposit. I said, we got to test drive the car before we buy it. So but it's all experience. I gave him a painting bid too, so I don't really want the job, so I bid it high, but.
Watch, you'll probably get it then.
Yeah,
He'll accept your bid.
Well, and if he does, then I just make a lot of money on that job. No big deal, but might have to outsource some of it. Not sure how to do 3 duplexes and that job, but get some help.
Yeah, so what I wanted to do is continue on. We've talked about getting directions. So I want to continue on with this unit on good behavior, good communication with our children. So let me see, I gotta get this. And then we will.
How's that tooth feeling today, Kelly?
It's okay. I can't feel it anymore. They took it out.
Did you ever get your teeth done?
They want to pull all her teeth.
All of them?
Pretty much.
Or several.
And then will you get like?
She don't want them to do it though.
But doesn't it hurt? All the time?
She's too afraid of them pulling the teeth to let them do it. So. They need a big sledgehammer to get that done, I think.
Oh, man.
Unless you got $1 million, they can sedate her. Just write her a check and she'll go get her done.
Won't they sedate with your insurance?
Develop in a healthy way
I
and
don't know.
strengthens.
Oh, there's two pains, ear pain and teeth pain.
Mm-hmm.
Are the worst.
communication
Well, and sometimes they go
with
hand in
children.
hand. Like if you get a dry socket, your ear can feel like it's being sucked off your head.
Or just the word dry socket. Sometimes you feel shivers.
Well, the other thing too, Sam, is your teeth are the health of your teeth is a connection to your heart.
And your brain, yeah.
Yeah.
Connects to everything. Well, infection can kill you.
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot of research about teeth and heart.
Sam, did you get a new wedding ring? I like
she
it.
she was helping me drywall the other day, and she earned some money, so she went out and bought herself a little something.
I like it. Let me see. I saw it glistening over here.
And then what was the other thing you got? That wax? You plugged that wax thing in? I never heard of that before.
Nice.
Yeah, it's them wax burners.
Oh, yeah.
Like a tart burner. You get the little wax tarts.
Yeah. All my friends have them.
First I ever heard of them.
So they're like, Sam, you should really try one of these. And finally, had enough money to do it.
Feels kind of good to earn some money, huh?
Well, she was working hard this
Yeah,
couple days.
do something good for yourself. Yeah.
Well, put her little cash under the table. She's happy. I'm getting work done.
Right.
And,
My friend even offered to come help do screws or whatever today. She has nothing going on till 1, 2 o'clock. She said, hey, what about me?
There's your crew, huh, Kelly?
I guess.
There's your crew. All right, can you see that? Can you see this, Sam? From over
Yep.
there? Okay, good. All right, so this is just different ways of communicating with our
Positive
kids.
communication with our children helps us develop in a healthy way and strengthens our bond with them.
Parents can really kind of tune into what their kids are saying to kind of build those communication skills, help their children build language skills by saying, you know, what did you say, and repeating back what the kid said and reflecting on that emotion that kids are expressing.
There are 4 steps for communicating positively with your child. Step 1, praise. Use praise to help your child know what you'd like them to do. Be clear and specific with your praise. Instead of good job, say good job putting away your toys.
Great job putting your toys away, Jenny. It's very, very important as a parent to be conscious as much as possible of what your kids are doing, but you're checking in on them enough that there's opportunities to acknowledge what they're doing. That is good.
Step 2, imitation. You can copy or imitate the things your child is doing that you want them to keep doing. This shows your child that you are paying attention to them and interested in what they are doing. When copying and imitating, make sure you do the things the way your child does. Do not try to do things better or faster than your child.
Then they see that you've recognized they're doing something that you're also doing. Wow, mommy likes that. Mommy likes to play with my dolls too, so that must be something good that I'm doing. I'm going to do that again in the future.
Step 3, description. Describing or talking about what your child is doing while they play shows your child you are noticing their good behavior. You can act like a sportscaster who is telling people what is happening in a game. You are putting the red block on the green block and making a tall tower. Step 4, active listening. Giving your child your full attention when you are playing and talking with them can help build your relationship. At least once a day, try to really focus on being with your child. Try to decrease distractions like cell phones so you can give her your full attention. One way to actively listen is to talk about what your child is doing or to repeat what your child says. You can also add more detail to encourage them to talk to you more. For example, your child may say, I colored it. But with active listening, you may add to that and say, yes, you colored her dress blue and red. Active listening can also help children name their feelings. For example, if your child is crying and says she's not happy, you may say, you seem unhappy and sad. Playtime is a great time to practice praise, imitation, description, and active listening. You can also use these skills anytime you are with your child. At dinner, in the car, and when giving a bath.
Elementary, huh? Is there anything that stood out in that video to you guys? Sam, how about you? You can start.
With Tiffany, when she plays with her baby dolls, I kind of imitate with her.
So that's a way of communication. Yep, you do. I notice you do that like when she's feeding and then you feed. So when we imitate then, you're copying what she does. That's perfect. I've seen you do that.
What about you, Kelly?
So go back, hang on a second, Sam. So why do you think it's important that we imitate? Like why?
Because they're learning,
You're paying attention to that good behavior
Yep.
that she's doing and building that bond. So perfect. So that's one thing that seems to be easy for you. How about you, Kelly? Was there anything in the video that stood out to you?
Oh, when they said you feel sad because, and then they got more specific. So instead of just saying, you look upset or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So that would be the active listening, right? Including that because.
And part of that could be applied to this video. That was a good video. What they could have done, this is just like notes for myself more than anything, but
Yeah.
like if I do a video or dealing with the real estate with the kids, same thing, but what they could have done, they did a really good job, but what they could have done was, and they kind of did because they had like a little list of the stuff on there, but they didn't necessarily review it. So to have a little bit at the beginning of the video at the macro level, or maybe the what's the other word for it? Going over like the basics, and then they more or less, they did put a list up, but it was kind of like a flash and it was gone, and then they started going in depth into the micro level. I would have liked to have seen them do the macro level a little bit first, or the foundational, the basics, and then branched off into the more specifics more.
So this was kind of a lot to take in all at once.
Well, if you do that quick review of the macro level, you kind of get that airplane view,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think that helps you kind of get a sense of what the video is going to be about a little bit, and then break down into more of the specifics. But 9 out of 10, it was a good video.
Yeah.
And the same thing could be applied with the kids. Like when they went to the micro level, they said, "Hey, you seem sad because of this." So sad would be a little bit of that macro level.
Right.
So it was a macro within the micro. It was good.
And I think what I could have done too is instead of playing all of it, we could have just played a chunk at a time and then discussed it, because it is a lot to remember. Because they started with praise, and so that would be, let's see here, let's do that, because then we can get a good conversation going on that. We'll just watch the praise one and I'll stop it.
Positive communication with our children helps them develop in a healthy way and strengthens our bond with them.
Parents can really kind of tune into what their kids are saying to kind of build those communication skills, help their children build language skills by saying, what did you say, and getting back with that emotion that kids are expressing.
There are 4 steps for communicating positively with your child. Step 1, praise. Use praise to help your child know what you'd like them to do. Be clear and specific with your praise. Instead of "good job," say "good job putting away your toys."
Yep, right there it was.
Put your toys away, Jenny.
Putting the toys
It's
away.
very, very important as a parent.
Not just good job.
To be
Yeah.
conscious as much as possible of what your kids are doing, but you're checking in on them enough that there's opportunities to acknowledge what they're doing, that it's good.
Step 2,
Right, so Exactly, Kelly.
Mhm.
Specific praise. So they hear what they're doing well. So instead of just good job, being specific to what they're doing. Another thing too with praise is sometimes when it's not expected, like let's say you guys are off doing something, but you notice Tiffany or Johnny playing well together or doing something that you really like, just acknowledging that and praising them because you're letting them know that you're paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
What are some ways that you guys give praise?
Like when Tiffany's picking up stuff, I always tell her good job, or I
So
rub
how
her
would
back
you rephrase that? So good job, what?
for picking up the toys.
Want to do that? Rubbing back, yep. Giving that that physical touch. I noticed, Sam, that you also are a clapper. So even when you clap, just being, let them know what you're clapping about. And I don't know if I've heard you. I know I've heard you say praise before, Kelly. You're a little bit more quieter with it. I know last week, I think when Johnny was doing something at the table, I saw you rub his back and tell him good job. So just remembering to, if we can be specific with praises.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so,
Imitation. You can copy or imitate the things your child is doing that you want them to keep doing. This shows your child that you are paying attention to them and interested in what they are doing. When copying and imitating, make sure you do the things the way your child does. Do not try to do things better or faster than your child.
Then they see that you've recognized that they're doing something that you're also doing. Wow, mommy likes that. Mommy likes to play with my dolls too, so that must be something good that I'm doing. I'm going to do that again in the future.
Step 3.
so I'm kind of curious your thoughts on that. Would they say that we should imitate our children the way they're doing it, not better or faster? So why do you think that is?
I suppose maybe it's they might either might be a competition or maybe make them feel bad that they're not doing good enough or something.
Yeah.
Frustrate them. You want them to feel good. So.
Yeah, that was my thoughts on it too. What are your thoughts, Sam? Same. Kind of building up their self-esteem, so maybe they're not building a tower like we would. Kelly is very strong in the problem-solving area. So one of the things that I have observed, Kelly, is especially with Johnny when he's trying to figure things out, you're very calm and you encourage him to keep trying. And I think that's a quality that not a lot of parents have, because we know better, we know how to get things done, but you're really encouraging him to use his brain, figure stuff out. You let him try, and then I've heard you make a suggestion, and then he tries, and so keep doing that. That's
Yeah, you want them to believe in themselves,
yeah.
and get that confidence up that they can do it.
I'm thinking about Tiff putting on the diaper, and she's supposed to imitate the way that she does it. Can you also, so instead of imitating her teacher, like if she's doing it wrong, so maybe we wouldn't do it the way that she's doing it, we would do it the right way and show her the right way to do it.
You could do that. But we wouldn't point it out and say
No,
you did it wrong.
You
yeah.
wouldn't point it out, you would just do it the right way, so that she's watching you do it the right way.
Or the way to look
Try this.
Or the way to look at it too is if Sam has a baby with a diaper and Tiffany has a baby with a diaper, and focusing on, let's say Tiffany's putting the diaper on the baby because she's putting it on backwards or whatever, but Sam's just doing hers the right way. They're still doing the same.
They're still
thing.
doing the same thing.
The details are different. And then in time, Tiffany's gonna look over at mom, or she might hand you the diaper.
Right, when it's not working.
Yeah. So, I even saw Dad putting on baby doll diapers last week.
Yeah. Well, and then if I told you If you called me up and said, how do I get to Las Vegas? What would be my first thing I would have to figure out in order to guide you to Las Vegas?
You'd have to figure out how to get to Las Vegas.
Yeah, but
You have to figure out how.
I already know how to get to Las Vegas, but what would I have to, what would be the first question I would have to ask you?
What mode of transportation are we taking?
Or
Yeah.
where are you at?
Yeah, but you could walk there or you could drive there, but what do I really have to know to get you to Las Vegas?
Where am I?
So where's Tiffy when she's putting it on upside down? So that is a thing that you are where you are.
Right.
And you got to know that in order to get to where you want to go.
And that's so true. You meet people where they're at, whether they're children or adults.
Yeah.
You meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Sam? You're looking at Kelly with a smile on your face.
Just about the same kind of conversation I had with you this morning, huh?
Meeting somebody where they're at.
Well, I told him, he has to understand me and my perspective on things, at my level, because of my disability. I said, some way, somehow, he has to be able to understand that.
Right.
And he can't always think he could be the one with the higher power. He has to be more understanding.
No, I'm just He-Man. Teaser. Yeah, I know she's going through a hard time, but we'll get there.
Yeah. But I like that. That's a very good food for thought. Kelly is meeting them where they're at. For all of us to remember that.
Well, yeah, can you imagine being in a 3-4-year-old's head? You
I don't
know,
know that
Johnny's
I
gonna be
wanna
5 for
we've had
crying out
years
loud.
and
Can't believe that.
decades sometimes of, learning the ABCs and,
Right.
they don't know all that stuff.
Kelly,
They can't.
can't
until they
believe our
learn it.
little Johnny. This next September already, he's gonna be 5.
Yeah.
5 years old.
And physically too, it's like they're not
It's
as
like, whoa.
strong.
Yeah.
When you stop and
do
think
this
of how old
right
your kids
now.
really
No,
are.
it's- Yeah, you got my legs. I got to figure this out. My grandma always said, don't expect them to just, be fast and go right there and know what they're doing. They gotta process it and they're trying to figure it out.
Well, even
You
think
know?
of us at our age. If we are learning something new or somebody gives us directions or it takes us a minute or two to figure out. I mean,
Yep.
some of us.
Yeah.
chemically and just like physically, the neurons in your brain, it takes me less time to figure out something than it does you guys.
Yeah.
Because of my age.
Mhm.
Because of the neurons that are going in my brain versus your brain.
Yeah.
Just to point out your age, really, that's what that was.
Yeah, right?
No, but
Wisdom, right, Kelly?
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's an actual thing that the number of neurons firing in my brain is higher because of my age.
Yeah.
And imagine the little ones talk
Right.
much faster and they're making those connections.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why, like we've talked before about expectations and routines, once they get used to it,
Yeah.
those pathways are made. They know. They don't even have to think about it anymore.
Right. You
Yeah.
have to make the pathway.
Yeah.
Teach them that.
Yeah, they call them sponges for a reason.
They are soak up everything
Yeah.
and repeat everything.
And then the older you get, you got to do it more by repetition
Mm-hmm.
because you're not so much a sponge anymore.
Must be something good that I'm doing. I'm gonna do that again in the future.
Step 3. Description. Describing or talking about what your child is doing while they play shows your child you are noticing their good behavior. You can act like a sportscaster who is telling people what is happening in a game. You are putting the red block on the green block and making a tall tower. Step 4.
that step 3 with the description is gonna be so important too for Tiffany. Those words that we say, because, and she's picking them up. One thing, Sam, that I like that I've seen you've been doing is you're looking at her and she can see your mouth. And you're got different sounds. Is she still working on Puff?
Yep.
Has she learned any new words from last week or since we saw her?
I haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, she's, I can't believe how much difference she's talking now. I remember when all it was yeah. And now look.
That's still her favorite word.
Better than no.
That's-
No.
Yeah. Can we erase that from the memory for permanent?
Yes. Yes, please.
Like I told Kelly though, since I bought this stuff, my wax burner and the rings, I
Yeah.
said at least this way, you know, I was spending on things that I can, you know, actually hold on to for memories and stuff versus, you know, go out and buy it on pop, junk food, things that are just not even going to be there in a week from now.
So I hear you prioritizing some stuff. Good. Well, I think you spent your money wisely.
Yeah, we're spending some more money today. We're getting a new furnace put in.
Oh, that's not fun money though.
Not fun money, but it will be
Well, in a
a
way it is.
high efficiency one.
Right, it's necessary. But it hurts when you have to.
Yeah, it's an outgo. So we got right now we got a single stage, and this one we got the top one they had. So
Oh,
it's
really?
like, yeah,
I think it'll probably save money in the long run.
it's called the Train.
Oh, I had a train, TRANE.
Did ya?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
how'd you like it? Yeah.
We went with train, my house up in Duluth that I'm renting out right now, we had a wood furnace and
Yeah.
gas furnace,
Yeah.
and we did train. Absolutely loved it.
Awesome, good.
Yep. It was
That's good to
more
hear.
expensive, but it was well worth the money.
Yeah,
We
ours-
haven't had, I think it was put in probably 10 years ago, and we haven't had one issue with it
nice,
at all.
nice.
I don't know, I'm gonna
Yeah,
put
ours-
that in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, ours is, I think it's under 5,000. I don't remember the exact price. And then they, well, we got a small house too, but, and then we might be eligible for some, I don't know, there's some Excel Energy. They do a discount and Excel does one, but you gotta be under a certain income level, so I don't know if we're eligible for it. We'll figure it out.
When we put ours in, we noticed how more efficient it was.
Was it quieter?
It was very quiet,
Yeah.
yeah. And very efficient.
Yeah.
And I wanna say, they have a pretty long warranty.
Yeah. Well, we could have just fixed the part that was broke. It was like $1,300, but then there's something else got to go next, and
Yeah.
is the house gonna blow up? I mean, there's different
That's a big jump,
things
but
that.
it's true.
Well, one thing that he noticed too was our gas line. That's the section just that's connected on to the furnace. He says, you know, if lightning strikes, this here can go. He says, so when we put the new furnace on, I'm gonna replace that 2-3 feet and put that to where you don't have to have a grounding rod.
Oh, okay.
It's whatever material it's made out of. He said this one won't go poof. So
Maybe
there's
safe.
gonna be some upgrades along with it.
Good, good, good.
It's like I never even heard of such a thing. He's like, yep,
Fun part of growing up.
this one could explode the house right here. 2 feet. Yeah.
And then the last one was the active listening.
Giving your child your full attention when you are playing and talking with them can help build your relationship. At least once a day, try to really focus on being with your child. Try to decrease distractions like cell phones so you can give her your full attention. One way to actively listen is to talk about what your child is doing or to repeat what your child says. You can also add more detail to encourage them to talk to you more. For example, your child may say, I colored it. But with active listening, you may add to that and say, yes, you colored her dress blue and red. Active listening can also help children name their feelings. For example, if your child is crying and says she's not happy, you may say, You seem unhappy and sad. Playtime is a great time to practice praise, imitation, description, and active listening. You can also use these skills anytime you are with your child. At dinner, in the car, and when giving a bath.
I think that worked better, breaking it up.
Yeah.
Good suggestion, Kelly. So active listening, that's another one that's gonna be good with the kids, especially at their age. I don't know about you guys, but it drives me crazy when I'm talking to, I'll just say it, my husband, and he's on his phone.
Oh.
You know, we, as adults, we like the respect to know that when people are listening to us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can practice that with our kids, making sure, you guys are super good. You two are parents that are not on their phones during sessions. We see a lot of parents that are, because it's just part of our society, we're on the phones all the time. But I have noticed that in the controlled environment, you haven't been on your phones. It's a lot different, Sam, when you were in the home. I think it was easier for you to be on the phone. And so it's nice to see that when the kids are here with you, that you're giving them your full attention. And then, so repeating what the kids are doing, repeating what they're saying. That also helps Tiffany with her language development. Johnny's pretty good. I mean, he says something, he's got some big words for a little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Some very, very big words.
Yep.
So they actually have a video of what would you do. So they give, this is from the CDC. So they give scenarios, and those 4 things we learn: praise, imitation, active listening, and description are all added on these. There we go.
Snick. See it? It's an S. So we have S and B. Look here. Oh, I love this one. N. You say. Good.
Okay. So what they're asking is, in that scenario, how is she communicating with her child?
She was saying the letter names.
Mm-hmm. So that would fall under the description.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the description or the active listening?
Yeah.
So she was doing it, he was doing it.
Yeah.
So she was, and so even though he was engaged in play, it still was a learning.
Well, that's also kind of similar to a technique called mirroring. The imitating or whatever.
Yeah.
I've used that before.
Sometimes too, you see parallel play is another
Mm-hmm.
description that they say, like if kids are playing beside each other, or parents are playing by their kids, not necessarily doing the same. She wasn't imitating him because she was playing with blocks, but he was playing with Legos.
Mm-hmm.
But she still was able to incorporate learning into that communication style. So with the letter sounds. All right.
Look, Mommy. Oh, that's good, honey. Now go pick up that stuff in the hallway and put it back in the thing. You know, the big green one.
Okay. So in that scenario, she's communicating. But think back what did she do that you would have done different? It kind of went quick, so I'm gonna play it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to think of what could she have done different.
Look, Mommy. Oh, that's great, honey. Now go pick up that stuff in the hallway and put it back in the thing. You know, the big green one.
She could have.
Like she named the color of something, like the green toad.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted him to do something, but was she very specific?
Oh, that part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she kind of skimmed over what he was. She could have got a little more detail about what he wanted,
The green one?
and then yeah, like you're saying, she could have went off, to what she wanted him to do.
Yeah.
Stuff in the hallway and put it back in the thing. You know, the big green one.
Pick up the stuff in the hallway,
The
put
thing.
it back in the thing. You know, the big green thing. So if you told Johnny this, Johnny, go pick up that stuff in the hallway and put it in that thing. You know, the big green thing.
Yeah, he wouldn't know what stuff to pick up. You gotta be more specific,
Yes, perfect, exactly. So
because there could be 20 things.
yeah,
He's gonna be confused. He's not gonna have the clarity, so he's probably not even gonna do it.
right.
He's gonna get frustrated and think, the heck with this.
I, as an adult, am the same way. My husband has a music room, and he has gone on gigs, and he has called me and said, "Hey, I need you to bring this." No idea what he's talking about. It's like, you got to be specific with me. Kids, I mean, little kids. Remember, Tiffany's at a 2-step direction. Johnny's at 3 to 4. So being as specific as possible with him. So when at the end of our session, if we say time to clean up, everybody clean up. Clean up what? So I like when you guys say, you give a specific, let's clean up the blocks, or let's clean up the dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, I mean, she acknowledged her child, but she wasn't very detailed as far as what she wanted him to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that one, what did you notice about what she was doing?
She wasn't talking to her child.
You could tell she was thinking good thoughts because her face was smiling, but what could she have done different, Sam?
She had told him what she was doing. Explained it to him.
Yep, and praised, I think, whatever the child was doing in the high chair, playing quietly or whatnot. Yep. All right, here's another one. I want you to think about what this mom could do different with communication.
Thanks.
Pretty clean dishes to go in the dishwasher. So she said thanks, but what could she have done different?
Yeah, thanks for handing me the plates,
Yeah.
or
Specific praise so that the
Mhm.
child knows what they did. Yeah, exactly what they did.
Snick. See it? It's an S. So we have S and B. Look here. Oh, I love this one. N. You say it. N. Good. What's mommy? Oh, that's great, honey. Now go pick up that stuff in
We
the
missed
hallway
some
and put it back in
specific
the
praise
thing.
on this one.
You know, the big green one. Thanks.
So just different concepts of how to communicate with the kids. Do you want to print it out, sheet from today? If not, I'll just put it in your file.
yeah, we can take a printout if you got one.
I got you one. There you go. I got you one. So today, let's work on that. The positive prayer, the imitation, pause or play, pause or freeze, imitation, description, active listening, all those good things we can work together on. All right, should we go out and wait for the kiddos? They should be here soon.
Yeah.
This is what did you bring for this morning to eat?
I got lunch meat, applesauce, peanut butter sandwiches. I got my banana pudding pie in there. I got, oh yeah, I got the assortment for it.
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, two. Well, I like to get working. It's new stuff, I like it.
You want this out in the van?
Yeah, I gotta go and, Lord, you're perfect, everyone. My hands are not.